Classified evidence log. Case file 11-426. Status closed. Victims 7 confirmed. Hidden clues publicly available. Primary evidence Amazon product reviews. Investigators note, sometimes the truth isn't hidden, it's ignored. Most killers hide the evidence. They erase fingerprints, destroy DNA, bury bodies where no one will ever find them. But every once in a while, a killer does something that seems impossible. He leaves the evidence where everyone can see it. Years before police ever connected his name to a single murder, someone posted a review online. Keep in car for when you have to hide the bodies and you left a full-size shovel at home. People laughed. Some called it dark humor. Others assumed it was nothing more than another tasteless joke on the internet. It wasn't. It was written by someone who would later be identified as a serial killer. And it wasn't the only warning he left behind. I'm Detective Cipher from the Classified Mind, and today we're investigating the most disturbing case of all, the human mind itself. Tonight's investigation begins with an Amazon review. By the end of this case, it will become evidence. Let's open the case file. Evidence marker number 1, the perfect mask. When investigators finally uncovered Todd Kohlhepp's crimes, the public struggled with one question. How could someone like him get away with murder for so long? He wasn't unemployed. He wasn't living on society's margins. He wasn't constantly attracting police attention. He was a successful real estate agent, professional, intelligent, respected. The kind of man people trusted with one of the biggest financial decisions of their lives. Forensic psychologists often refer to this phenomenon as the mask of sanity, a person who appears completely ordinary while lacking the emotional wiring most people depend on for empathy, remorse, and guilt. That's what makes offenders like Kohlhepp so difficult to recognize. The danger isn't that they look evil, it's that they don't. Evidence marker number 2, the clues. Everyone ignored. Now the investigation takes an unexpected turn. Years before his arrest, Kohlhepp purchased ordinary items online. A folding shovel, a heavy-duty padlock, a knife. None of those purchases were unusual. The reviews he left behind were. One joked about hiding bodies. Another referenced owning multiple locks for a shipping container. The third, haven't stabbed anyone yet. At the time, they were dismissed as tasteless humor. But psychology tells us something interesting. Some offenders experience what behavioral experts call duping delight, a sense of satisfaction from deceiving others while believing they're intellectually superior. Leaving clues isn't always a confession. Sometimes it's a performance, a private game. Behavioral researchers have long noted that some offenders don't simply enjoy committing crimes. They enjoy the illusion of getting away with them. Every unnoticed clue reinforces a dangerous belief. I'm smarter than everyone looking for me. The longer that belief goes unchallenged, the more confident the offender often becomes. What begins as private satisfaction can evolve into increasingly bold behavior because each successful deception feels like proof that they are untouchable. The thrill comes from knowing the truth while everyone else laughs it off. To Kohlhepp, the reviews may have been trophies hidden in plain sight. Not because he wanted to be caught, because he believed he never would be. Before we examine the next piece of evidence, leave your answer in the comments below. If you had stumbled across those reviews years ago, would you have dismissed them as a joke? Or would they have raised a red flag? And if you're enjoying this investigation, subscribe and ring the evidence bell so you never miss the next case file. Evidence marker number 3. The hunting ground. Predators don't simply choose victims, they choose environments. Isolation reduces witnesses. Promises of work lower suspicion. Distance increases control. Kohlhepp owned rural property where very few people would notice strangers coming and going. For some victims, the promise was simple. Employment, a chance to earn money. Instead, they walked directly into an environment designed entirely around the killer's advantage. This wasn't impulsive violence. It was calculated, planned, controlled. Behaviorally, this reflects what investigators often see in organized offenders. The crime scene isn't just where the murder happens. It's part of the strategy itself. Evidence marker number 4. The survivor. Every serial offender believes they're in control. until they aren't. In 2016, police searching Kohlhepp's property heard something they weren't expecting. A voice. Locked inside a shipping container was Kayla Brown. Alive. She had survived approximately 2 months in captivity after her boyfriend, Charles David Carver, had been murdered. Her rescue changed everything. Years of secrecy collapsed in a single afternoon. One survivor accomplished what countless hidden victims never could. She gave investigators the break they needed to expose the man behind the mask. It's a reminder that many serial investigations don't end because the offender stops. They end because something finally interrupts the illusion of perfect control. Evidence marker number 5. The case that was never solved. As investigators dug deeper, another mystery resurfaced. Back in 2003, 4 people had been murdered at a motorcycle dealership. The case had gone cold. No arrests, no clear suspect. After his capture, Kohlhepp confessed. For more than a decade, investigators revisited the Superbike Motorsports case without finding the breakthrough they needed. There was no obvious motive, no clear suspect, and no forensic lead strong enough to identify the shooter. The murders became one of South Carolina's most haunting unsolved cases. Then, almost unexpectedly, the answers came not from new forensic evidence, but from a killer who had finally lost control of his carefully constructed world. The unsolved murders finally had an answer, but they also revealed something unsettling. This wasn't a man who suddenly became violent. He had been carrying secrets for years while building a successful public life around them. The murders, the online reviews, the carefully selected victims, they weren't isolated events. They were all pieces of the same psychological pattern: grandiosity, control, manipulation, and the belief that he was always one step ahead. Until he wasn't. Todd Kohlhepp didn't leave investigators a fingerprint. He left them a trail of behavior, a carefully maintained public image, dark jokes no one took seriously, a rural property designed for isolation, and online reviews that in hindsight sounded less like humor and more like hidden confessions. The evidence wasn't difficult to find, it was difficult to believe. That's often the most dangerous kind of evidence, because once something is dismissed as impossible, it can remain invisible for years. Until next time, keep your eyes on the evidence and your mind on the motive. Detective Cipher, signing off.